Hi, today I want to ask you a question. And now, this isn't a question about how you're doing with your finances or your schedules or even about how you're communicating. This is a much deeper question. Here's the question. Are you ready? How is your marriage shaping your shared story? Because you know that every marriage has a story. And I wonder if you've thought about what kind of story your marriage is sending. What's that message? The thing is that when we're building a marriage, sometimes we think, we'll get to that someday, or I'll pay attention to that when we have a little bit more time and we're not in this season. But every marriage is building something. Whether you're being intentional about it or not, you are building something. Every conversation, every habit, every conflict that you have, even the decisions that you're making right now or the ones you're not making, they're shaping the story of your marriage. One day, you're going to look back and realize that you didn't just get married. You actually want to be able to look back and say, hey, you know what? We created something beautiful. The question is, are you creating right now what you were hoping to create? Are you investing in, are you paying attention to building the marriage that you always dreamed of? Because it doesn't just happen. One of the greatest gifts that Rick and I have learned over the years is that marriage doesn't stay the same. It is ever growing, it is shifting, it is changing. And for years, I think when we got married, we thought, the one of our marriage stories is really about how when we got married, we wanted to stay married. We did not want to end in divorce. We had that in our family history, and it was something that we really wanted to break. And so when we thought about getting married, we wanted to have that as one of our values. We're not going to get divorced. We're going to stay married. And listen, don't get me wrong, commitment matters. I mean, I call Rick Mr. Commitment because he has been the guy who never leaves. He has told me from the very beginning, no matter what, I'm going to figure this out. We're going to work on this. We're going to do this together because he's staying. That was a really important value that he brought into our marriage. And let me tell you, what a gift. He is such a gift to me because that was not what was modeled for me. When conflict happens in my family system, people didn't know what to do with that in a healthy way. And so they left. They either left the conversation, they left the relationship, or like my parents, they left the marriage, right? By the time that I was 6 years old, both of my parents had new relationships. And I knew what instability felt like, and I did not want that for my marriage. So marrying somebody whose commitment never wavered became one of God's greatest gifts to me. Rick being able to really be able to say that he is Mr. Commitment like that is a way that I honor him because that was a gift that he's given to me over the years. But here's the thing that we've learned about commitment. It's not enough. We can stay committed and stay married and still feel like there's a drift in our relationship, still feel that sense of disconnect. If we're not intentional, then we're just surviving marriage, and we don't want to just survive. God invited us to flourish in our marriage. And I think he wants that for you just as much as he wants that for us. It's my heart for you. As I put these videos together, is I really want you to understand that what you're building, it doesn't have to just be a way of marking off another day and saying, hey, we did it. We didn't get divorced. You can actually build a marriage that you're thrilled to be a part of, that you love and enjoy. And that's really what I want to highlight today, because I think most couples are asking the wrong question. They're asking, how do we fix our marriage? Instead, I want to invite you to ask, who are we becoming because we're married? Think about that. Because your marriage does impact and shape you have with your spouse, really does influence. We have lots of influence. It doesn't determine, but it influences how we respond to, how we look at one another, how we see the world around us. Those kinds of things are growing within us. And if you think about that, Has your marriage made you more patient, more kind, more courageous or forgiving? There's lots of ways that you can see how God is growing characteristics and qualities within you through the relationships that you have, especially with the relationship that you have with your spouse. One of God's greatest tools for transformation is using our spouse to come alongside of us and help us to grow. It's an invitation to grow. That's why I love saying that your marriage is a message, because people aren't just watching what you say, they're watching who you are becoming. Your children are watching, your community is watching, your grandchildren are watching. What kinds of things do you think that they will notice? Your marriage quietly teaches everyone around you what love looks like. You know, God is love, and He wants our marriage to be a reflection of His love towards one another. What kind of story is your marriage telling? I want my marriage to be a story of love, of deep love and understanding and commitment, of a way to say that we persevered, we didn't give up. That's a big thing for me. Like, that's something that God is growing inside of me. It's not a gift that I had coming into this. It's been something I'm learning over the years, is that that's a part of what I want to be able to offer, and not just walk away or give up when things get hard. So there's this illustration that I love, and you've heard me say this before, but Rick talks about our marriage like it's a kite, right? And thinking about our marriage and how we have entered into this relationship and how we've grown as a couple. In the scenario of the kite, right? This illustration, I'm the kite. I'm the one that has the big dreams. I have all this imagination. I see the world full of possibilities. I mean, they're endless. They're everywhere. And I can see that from up in the sky. I have this big vision of what life could be and what it could, how we could experience that. I'm always thinking about what's next, what's in the future for us. And then Rick is the guy who is holding the string, right? He is very grounded. He is thorough. He's detail oriented, and he's steady. He is going to hold on to that string, and he's going to make sure that I don't fly off. And for years, those differences about us, they frustrated us. I wanted him to dream more. He wanted me to slow down. He always tells me this African proverb, which is super true. And it says, if you want to go fast, that's how it says, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that's really what I'm encouraging you to do, is to think about, what does it look like for the two of you to work together? So here's what the picture looks like when we work together, right? Because God never intended us to be the same person. We both have our unique space where we show up, and the gifts and the strengths that we have that we offer to the marriage. He intended us to be the same team, not the same person. He wants us to be the same team, but not the same person. Because here's the thing, without the string, the kite flies away. Without the kite, the string never flies. Our differences stop being problems when we learn to actually embrace our differences as gifts. To see the strengths that we bring to the table that are different from our own as gifts to really enhance the team, the marriage relationship. And maybe you've spent years trying to change your spouse. I don't know about you, but there's always been a way that, I wish if he could only, if she would only. And I'm going to invite you, I'm going to challenge you today to say, what if, instead of looking for ways you can change your spouse, you can learn to appreciate the way God designed them to be? Learn to see and appreciate the person that you've signed up to do life with, to value the differences in your character, in your strengths, in the way that you see life, and see them as an opportunity to strengthen your team. This week, I want you to have one conversation. Ask each other 3 questions in this conversation, okay? 3 questions, and they look like this. What is one quality that you've developed because we've been married? Now I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it into the chat so you have it. So question number 1, what is one quality? Here we go. I put in the chat the link to my Marriage Elite, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But first question, okay? Question number 1, what is one quality? I'll put question number 1. What is one quality that you've developed because you've been married? So talk about that. What is one quality you've developed because you've been married? All right. Question number 2. What is one strength you see growing in me? What's something that you see growing in me? As you think about the story of our life, I'm putting this in the chat. What's one strength that you see growing in me? And have a conversation about it. Do your reflective listening, and it might feel awkward to say back what your spouse sees growing, but it's going to be really important for your heart and for their heart, not only just to say it, but to hear it, to receive it, and to send it back. That's that loop that we want to have happening in communication. So when you have these conversations, you're not just talking, you're really leaning in and hearing one another in this kind of marriage conversation, communication. Okay. Now, question number 3. So in your conversation, you're going to ask these 3 things. Okay. Question number 3 looks like this. What do we want to become together over the next year? Think about that, right? When you think about who you are and who you're becoming, what do you guys look like as a couple next year? What does it look like for the 2 of you to strengthen and embrace your differences and see them as assets of the team? What would that do for your marriage a year from now? Talk about those 3 things. They're going to be an important part of this conversation, and really hear each other. I want you to slow down. I want you to really listen. I don't want you to judge. I want you to encourage each other and really be there in the moment, because identity grows where it's spoken. So when you speak it out loud, I think next year we'll be stronger than we are today. Like, start really believing that, leaning into that, speaking life over your relationship, over your marriage, having a conversation where both hearts feel heard, and really that each of you gets an opportunity to feel seen. That's your challenge this week. Catch your spouse doing something that is right, that you love, that you appreciate, that you enjoy. Don't miss the opportunities to speak life into each other. So you're going to set some time aside, no distractions, and you're going to ask these 3 questions to each other. And all the while you're doing life, you're going to build the habit of catching each other in the act of doing something really amazing. Okay? So that's what you're going to do. And then I want you to say it out loud. Like, don't just catch it, speak it. So if you see it, say it. I see that today you did the dishes and I felt so loved. I felt so supported. You know, when you prayed for me, like my husband prayed for me before this live, that I would have the right words to say that would speak to your heart. I just love that, and I appreciate that he is willing to have that intimate spiritual connection with me. Like, what a beautiful gift. And being able to share that with one another. Don't just see it, say it. All right. So in closing, I grew up believing that I had to prove people wrong. You know, there's this possibility that now I want to show you that let's prove what's possible. Instead of trying to prove people wrong, let's prove what's possible. You hear the mindset shift? It's not that I want to prove people wrong, we're just going to stay married. I want to prove what's possible, that not just staying married, that we're going to live a life full and God honoring, and draw people to Him and encourage other couples, that we would leave a legacy that meant something to somebody else. Your past doesn't have to determine your future, okay? Your marriage can become the turning point in your family story. What happened with my parents or their parents doesn't determine what happens with me today, because great marriages aren't built by accident, they're built intentionally. And remember, your marriage is a message. Let's make it one worth echoing. If today really helped you to realize that you wanted to be more intentional about who you're becoming, I'd invite you to sign up for a marriage vision call. During this private conversation, we're going to explore where your marriage is today, where you'd like it to go, and to see if you're a good fit for my Marriage Elite program. It's a 90-day program where I walk alongside couples. You get marriage challenges, there's fun couple dates, and we really give you the skills and the habits to build a marriage that has a legacy worth echoing. I only take a limited number of couples, and as of today, as I'm recording this, I only have 3 openings. So if that's something that you're interested in, I do that specifically because I believe that you deserve to have the attention to hold you accountable, to get the encouragement that you need, and really to get the coaching that will help you build the marriage that you've always longed for and just really didn't have a pathway toward that. You can apply through the link that I put in the chat. I'll also have it in the comments section, or the description of the YouTube, so you have that if you want to. I'd love to meet with you and just see if it's a right fit. Until then, I'll see you next Tuesday. Have a great day.